And we give our lives and our sweat and our blood and our tears to lead the church to win more people to faith in Jesus Christ. Folks, there's an urgency in the air. And we need to be about the Father's business. Brother Dave, we don't have time to sugarcoat the gospel. We have to preach the Word. We have to preach the truth. But we have to preach it in love. To preach the truth without love is legalism. We need to preach it with love. Second question. What would happen if every deacon spent 5 minutes on it? Every deacon. I thank God for the men that have supported me and been my partners in ministry for the past 29 years. Men who have served as deacons in those churches that I've been a privilege to pastor. And I thank God that I can honestly say, except for just 1 or 2 men in those 29 years of pastoring, that I've had God-fearing men, God-following deacons who stood by my side and ministered alongside me. And David can say the same thing. But I think I need to say this tonight, that if those men who have been set aside as deacons of our churches, those tens of thousands of men who've had their hands laid on them, of those men who've been set apart to be servants of the living God, could be lowered into the pits of hell for 5 minutes, it could bring about revival in our churches. If those men who have been called as servants of God could hear Judas crying out, walking the halls of hell with the 30 pieces of silver, or Pilate crying out, wringing his hands in hell, or if they could be lowered into the pits of hell and hear the boys and the girls and the men and the women walk in the horrid halls of hell, if they could hear them weeping and screaming forever, they'd come back and they'd say, "Preacher, we've got to do more. We've got to preach harder. We've got to get out. We've got to tell people about Jesus Christ." We've got to win more people. We've talked about the pastors. We've talked about the deacons. What about if every Sunday school teacher? I'm going to hit everybody before we leave tonight. What if every Sunday school teacher would spend 5 minutes in there? I love Sunday school teachers. I thank God for Sunday school. I'm a Sunday school person, and grateful for the teachers that we've had. But if every Sunday school teacher could just be lowered down for 5 minutes into the pits of hell, I'm going to tell you some things that wouldn't happen. They wouldn't come into class late. They wouldn't come into class half prepared to teach their lesson. If only 5 minutes in that place of destruction, they'd see the reality of hell as Jesus has described it. And they'd come back and they'd say, "Let me have a class. I'll teach like I've never taught before. I won't play around. I won't waste time. I won't babysit. I'll teach as if their lives depend upon it." And you know what? Their lives do depend upon it, because the figures show that over the years more people have come to faith in Christ through Sunday school than through the preaching of the gospel. And that hurts us as pastors. Mm-hmm. But it's the truth of the matter. Sunday school teachers, it's so important to teach the Word. To teach the Word. Well, we've asked about the pastors. We've asked about deacons. We've asked about Sunday school teachers. I know what you think. We're going to be here all night if I cover every department. Well, this is kind of cut to the chase. What if every Christian could spend 5 minutes in hell? What if every person who had proclaimed Jesus Christ as Lord and Savior could spend 5 minutes in hell? I believe that it would cause the casual church member to take their commitment to the church more serious. Now, I'm not just talking about our adult members in the church members that are, but I'm talking about our youth that are in the church. If they could do the same thing, sometimes our youth, they don't see the importance of it. They don't understand what hell's like or understand the severity of it. And even in school, they'll laugh about it and carry on about it. But I'm telling you, it's just as important for our youth. Listen, youth, this is important. It's just as important for you as it is for us. Amen. Our youth have got high school friends that are dying, unprepared to meet Christ. And those youth that know Jesus need to be able to tell them about Jesus. Let me tell you 3 things that would happen if we could spend 5 minutes in hell. First of all, it would help us face the reality of hell. Sometimes I don't believe that people believe that hell is real. As a matter of fact, one of our Sunday school teachers, one of our classes at where I'm pastoring at Christian Baptist Church, we've been looking at a worldview in our Sunday school classes and come up with a startling statistic just the other day that I heard, is that of born-again believers, 9% of those who profess faith in Christ believe in a biblical worldview. 9%. That means if those figures are right, 91% don't believe in a biblical worldview. And if you don't believe in a biblical worldview, then you probably don't believe in hell. You want to believe in heaven, but you don't believe in hell. And so, if we could just see the reality of it, it would help us to face the reality of hell. And one thing that happened is that liberals have taken the water hose and put out the fires of hell. Even within our own Southern Baptist Convention, and I love Southern Baptists. I'm saved by grace, and I'm Southern Baptist by conviction. But even in our own Southern Baptist Convention, we have pastors who don't believe in a literal eternal hell. But I'll tell you tonight, and I believe this with all my heart, that 5 minutes in hell would change their mind. They would see the reality of hell, and they would say, God, forgive me for teaching that hell's not real. God, give me another chance to talk to those folks again. God, forgive me for every time I told somebody to go to hell. If there's a high, there's got to be a low. If there's hot, there's got to be cold. If there's heaven, there's got to be hell. And by the way, denying the existence of hell does not do away with the reality of hell. And there's a second area that I believe would help us in. It would help us to face the value of a human soul. I don't know if we ever think about that much. You think about how